According to a shocking new report put together by the Tow Center for Digital Journalism at the Columbia University Journalism School, there is a group going around right now creating hundreds of fake news websites here in the United States, and they're disguising these fake news websites as local news sites. Some of the sites, for example, include East Michigan News, Hickory Sun, and Grand Canyon Times. And there's about 186 others that have been identified according to the research combed through by the folks at the Center for Digital Journalism. Now, they didn't do all of this themselves. There were plenty of other groups that had been digging into this. The Center for Digital Journalism kind of took it all together as a whole, combed through it, and put it into this new succinct report, which everybody needs to read it. Go to the link in the description here. It is a phenomenal and terrifying report. But I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell here. What's happening is that these fake news producers, and they've traced it back to a group called Metric Media. What Metric Media is doing here is exploiting people's trust in local news. Consistently, for years and years and years, people rate their local news as far more trustworthy than any kind of national news. That's the one they trust. That's local. That's home. These are these people that I know. They're right down the street. And that's what's happening with this fake news. And what they're doing, obviously, they're putting out misinformation, disinformation. They're putting out press releases from Republican politicians and presenting them as if it's an actual news story instead of the opinion of one elected Republican. And right now they've identified 450 total sites, 189 of which are disguised to look like local news. They're doing this across 12 different states with a huge concentration down here in the state of Florida because they believe that this misinformation, this fake news, could easily swing the 2020 presidential election. That's why they're targeting 12 different states, typically reddish swing states, to get people confused. Because that's the goal of fake news. Confusion. Not just to lie to people, but at the very least to get them to start questioning things. Now, according to this report, these websites, which all popped up this year, so they've been operating maybe 12 months, have produced tens of thousands of articles just since the start of 2019. Tens of thousands of articles. Some of them have no authors. Some of them are just words on a page designed to trick people. Others, as I mentioned, include press releases from Republican politicians. And of course, to give it that full local news disguise, they also occasionally throw in stories about your local gas prices or your local mortgage prices so that you get the impression that, hey, they really are located in my city. How would they know what the Exxon down the street's charging? It's because you can look that up. It's not hidden. It's actually pretty easy to do. But people don't know that. And that's what's so depressing about this. We had an opportunity as a country about 2 years ago to approve a budget to help students in this country identify fake news, to teach them what to look for. But the Republicans in control of Congress voted it down. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want people to understand how to identify fake news. And now look where we're at. Fake news is now an industry. It's an industry. And unfortunately, we cannot do much about it. You cannot shut this down. The Supreme Court has already ruled that yes, the media can legally lie. If you slander somebody, if you libel somebody, yeah, you're on the hook for that. But otherwise, just giving fake information is not, unfortunately, illegal. Because if it were, it'd violate our freedom of speech. And, then you got to figure out which side of that line you're on. But they can lie to us. They can spread this misinformation. And all we can do is sit here and try to combat it. But what we could have done, but again, the Republicans blocked it. And we talked about this 2 years ago when it happened. We could have had a budget to teach high school students how to identify fake news. So we would have changed a generation. They wouldn't be the old elderly folks on Facebook sharing all these obviously fake stories from websites nobody's ever heard of. They would have known better. They would have been better than we are. But thanks to Republicans, they're just as vulnerable to fake news as the rest of us. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.